gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Do I know what's going to happen? No, I'll guess. But
We win one tomorrow. That's called a winning streak.
Alright, I'm not a fucking athlete. This is my fucking way. This is how I win.
adapt or die.
What's happening, everyone? Welcome into another episode of the A+ Sports League podcast. Week 13 picks, preview, it's a little Survivor, trivia from Nick, possibly. Today is Wednesday, December 2nd, and it's actually a very important day in the history of the NFL. This is the first ever Wednesday afternoon game, I believe. I don't know. Matt, can you back that up?
I can't see a situation where you would get to watch football during work hours at any other time.
Wild weekend. We actually have the Ravens and Steelers on right now. This game was supposed to be played on Thanksgiving, has been postponed till today. So we'll watch this game, and hopefully Nick can win some money while we discuss our picks for the upcoming week. With me, as always, is Matt Limonati and Nick Cometta. What's happening, guys?
What's going on? I was going to say that there are two caveats at the start of this podcast, that we might be a little distracted as we have the Baltimore-Pittsburgh game on. It's almost halftime right now. And Nick is just going to be in a sourpuss mood from some bad beats that just happened to him. So I'm sure we'll get into it a little bit at some point, but just a heads up on the front end.
I don't want to talk about it. It's a series of I'm on a roller coaster that you think I keep on going up. And as soon as I'm up the top, I think I'm like just can get a little bit higher. They drop me right back down every time. So we'll get into the bad beat section with coming up, and I'll add my latest bad beat right here.
Well, with that, there'll be two new things with this show from all the other shows that we've done this year. First off, you're going to notice that the music was very different. I'm sick of getting copyright claims from France on our YouTube channel, so I have implemented a new intro song for the A+ Sports League podcast. So that's a little different. And then the second thing we're going to talk about, as Nick mentioned, was a new little bad beat section that we're going to be talking about. Every week, we're going to put someone in the doghouse who the week before ruined our betting week. Fuck you, yeah.
Cool.
Well, sorry. Well, before we get into that, we just have to make a comment that it's 12-7 at half in the Pittsburgh game, and Baltimore almost scored a touchdown, but they blew it. RG3, no good. So back to the section, our new doghouse area.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Back to the new segment on the show. We're going to talk about people that are in our doghouse. And it didn't really affect us because we set our lines pretty early in the week. But if you had Seattle at -6.5 on Monday Night Football, you're hurting like most of America. That's because the Philadelphia Eagles decided, with about 20 seconds left in the game, down 14, they drive the ball down the field. Carson Wentz with a Hail Mary that bounced off of some other player and ended up in the tight end, Richard Rodgers' one arm for a touchdown. Put him down 8 points. So you're down 8, 12 seconds left in the game, Nick. What would you do there?
Just kick the field goal.
You kick the extra point and you go home as a loser.
You kick the extra point, maybe get the onside kick, but at the end of the day, you lose by a touchdown. What does Doug Peterson say? Nah, fuck that. I'm going for 2. Goes for 2, gets it. They end up losing by 6 points. Everyone who had Seattle -6.5 loses, and it officially puts Doug Peterson in our betting doghouse.
So it goes up and down. One, analytics show that going for 2 is actually more likely for you to win the game now than down the stretch. So if they were still trying to win the game, analytics do show that going for 2 in that moment gives you a better chance to win the game in regulation.
Yeah, but that doesn't. They didn't need. They were down 14 at the start, correct?
He's saying if they go for 2 there, get it, and then they hypothetically score another touchdown.
And get the Hail Mary again. They kick the field extra point there.
Yeah, I get that, but there's 12 seconds.
Or you go for 2 again, and when you're a team that's confident that they have a good 2-point conversion play, in a Seattle team that doesn't really care, they escape up Hail Mary, whatever. I do agree, analytically wise, that's probably the better idea to go for 2 there. Now, from a betting perspective,
well, you missed out.
But from a normal betting perspective, I know it's one of Vegas's biggest turn of events bets in of all time, basically. How Vegas got a plus, I think 3,000 units or something crazy.
Wow.
So when you look at 2 things to take away. One, you always tease, because I teased that game down to 4.5 for the Seahawks.
And we talked about it here on the podcast at -5.
So you always tease when you try to bet. It's always good to take a point and or usually I take a 1.5.
Yeah, you didn't tease, you bought.
I buy a point.
Yeah. Nick likes to drink the juice.
So I take the juice. It gives me more of an advantage in Vegas on these tough lines. It makes me feel a little bit better. Where, hey, maybe I had that, you know?
Yeah,
there's a backdoor cover and a crazy coach.
Or if it's something's at 7.5, yeah, it makes sense to buy a point half the time because the hook scares the shit out of you. But you also double dipped, did you not?
And I did double dip because I did take Eagles plus 7.5 in the 4th quarter. So win-win for me.
How mad would you have been if they went for the 2 and didn't get it there?
I would have been very upset because I was screaming, saying,
I thought it was
6 extra point as well as everyone else. Because I had it, but no matter what, if there's 6 extra point, and normal bet is what I had.
I thought you double dipped at 6.5, but
no, I didn't have it.
All that tells me is that Doug Peterson, because I don't even believe necessarily, I get what you're saying with the analytics portion of it, but I think Doug Peterson knew what the line was and was purposely pissing off people because, as he said on the radio the week before, I'm pissed off, Angelo, and he's not having a great season. And I feel like Doug Peterson knew what the fuck he was doing, but
no, I do think he knew what he was doing because analytics show it's better to go for there. But going on to the second one, Lele McLeod, he is dead to me. Add him to the list. I don't understand. I don't if people are watching the Steelers-Ravens game. What in the world are you thinking not fair catching that ball?
In the first quarter.
There is 0 Steelers in camera. And there's 5 Ravens. One literally a foot away from him. And he decides to catch it, beat the tackle, and go for another yard and get sacked.
Hey, this kid's on a primetime game. He's trying to make a name for himself. He wants to return the kick.
That's how you get the Ravens into this game. This should be a 12-0 game.
Should be higher than that.
Just not in, let alone the Ravens, and the Steelers' lack of red zone and how many drops they have today in the red zone. But, I mean, what are you thinking? This is how you keep the Ravens into the game. Stupid plays like this where a guy that has Steelers' first quarter minus a half a point, which is a lock, to get that taken away from you is just a kick in the nuts and why I hate Wednesday afternoon football.
I mean, I'm never going to complain about being able to be at work and watch football, but I mean, I had the first quarter Pittsburgh money line as well, and it fucked me, but it is what it is.
Guess who does not have that line? This guy. Anyway, so that's our doghouse segment this week. It's Doug Peterson. To backdate this a little, because I feel like it's been a weekly theme, and it will continue to be. A few weeks ago, the Browns were playing the Bengals. They were down, I believe, 3 points, and they scored a touchdown as time was about to expire. They took a 3-point lead. The Browns were given 3.5 points to the Bengals, and Cody Parkey proceeded to shank the extra point, not covering the spread. Fucked me and fucked a lot of people. The following week after that, Browns again. Nick Chubb on a breakaway touchdown against the Houston Texans. They're also, once again, giving 3.5. Common theme there, but Nick Chubb, instead of scoring on a breakaway touchdown, decides to step out of bounds at the 1-yard line, not covering the spread and screwing a lot of people. Last week, Anthony Lynn, a lot of people had the Chargers at -7.5 against the Jets. All of a sudden, he decides to take a safety at the end of the game because he just wants to try to run the clock out and doesn't mean anything to him. They end up winning by 6, screwing a lot of people there. So those are our backdated Doghouse members.
I had that one. The safety helped me out.
It helped some people. It hurt some people.
In fantasy and in
but it was still a bizarre move. And then this week it was Doug Peterson, and I don't know. I guess it was to Nick, it might be this McLeod fella here.
This guy's the worst.
I mean, just as an easy transition, speaking of fantasy, is now the time that we should talk about how I've kicked both of your asses 2 weeks in a row now, or?
Hey, if you make the playoffs, I'll give you a pat on the back. Until then, suck it.
Yeah, for someone that's literally hanging on
If I win, I'm in.
a thread.
We'll see how. At least I control my own destiny. I'm happy about that. I think I'm going to lose this
the
week.
entire year. At all times, the entire year you control your destiny. You can't just. You gotta step up.
It's down to week 13. There are 4 teams that are on the fringe of the playoffs. Only 2 teams are going to make it. It is going to be a very exciting week 13 in the A+ league.
If by some miracle, is there a way that you guys don't make it?
There's very little chance that he doesn't make it.
But both of you don't make it.
No, there's no chance of that because one of the 2 have to lose to each other. If Bill wins, then I'm automatically in. If Bill wins, I'm automatically in. I need Rick and Libs to lose to get out. I need Rick and Libs to win for me to get knocked out.
And you to lose.
And I have to lose to Fiore, who can't average more than 60 points a week. So anyway, we've already dug way too deep into the fantasy football segment of this. We can jump a little bit more into it at the end. But let's jump into our Sunday slate of games. All right, first let's recap last week's picks. We actually had a much better week collectively. It was very good. We actually all had 500 or better weeks for the first time in a while. I mean, it depends how the Steelers and Ravens game goes. But at the moment, Nick went 7-7 and 1 last week. Libs went 8-6 and 1 last week, and I went 9-5 and 1 last week, leading the way. We all pushed on the Chiefs-Bucks. We had it at -3, and that's what it ended up being. So that game kind of was a push for all of us. As for the A+ locks of the week, Nick had his 3-team lock of the week on Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, we're going to give him the Giants too, right?
Oh, well, that's right. We're giving the Giants. Yeah, I forgot about that one. So he won the Texans, he lost the Cowboys, and he has the Steelers at -4.5 right now, which currently is covering, but we'll see how that ends. And he had the Giants as like kind of a
I was kidding.
alternate one there that didn't really hit. No, so he's 1-1. We'll see how the Steelers one goes. And Lib, you had the Cardinals at -3.
Yep.
They did not.
I locked up the Pats week 11, didn't hit. Then I lock up the team against the Pats week 12, and it also fucked me. So I just don't. I'm gonna start fading my own locks. I am 1-4 in the year.
Just avoid the Pats is my advice. I, on the other hand, had the Steelers -5. That was a win for me. The over-unders, we all lost.
Seahawks.
The Seahawks.
Sorry. Seahawks -5. That covered. A+ over-unders, we all lost. Nick's had the Chiefs-Bucks over, didn't hit. Lib had the Brown Jags under, didn't hit, and I had the Bills Chargers over, didn't hit.
The Chiefs, they can't freaking score in the second half.
All these teams.
Geez.
When the Jags are scoring more than the Chiefs, you're like, what the fuck's going on there? For the season, that puts our records: Nick at 29, 38 and 3. Lib is at 30, 37 and 3, leading the way, and I'm at 27, 40 and 3, coming up in the rear here. But I'm making ground. I finally got over 40% this week. As for our A+ picks, Nick is 2-8 for the locks and over-unders. Lib is 1-8, and I am 6-3.
1-8, baby. Fade my own lock.
Trust their picks, trust my locks, and you'll be okay.
Well, now I'm just going to take more locks because
That's not how this works,
when
Nick.
you're down, you dig yourself out.
If you want, we can give you these are our A+ locks. We can give you a B+ and a C+ lock. We can create a whole Nick category.
All right.
I
I could have sworn I had the Redskins.
The Washington football team.
What happened?
No racial slurs on this podcast, sir.
You will get a fine soon. All right, with that, we'll jump right into the Sunday slate of games.
A $100 better made $10,000. A $500 better made $50,000. Well, I got 6 games on Sunday that I'm releasing absolutely free. These games are a burial, a blowout, a human lock. You can bet your unborn children on these 6 games. Absolutely.
Okay, first game of the slate. Let's kick it off with one of our favorite teams, as always. We have the New Orleans Saints at the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are +3. Over-under set at 45.5. Nick, what do you think?
I go back and forth because last time the Falcons and Saints played 2 weeks ago in New Orleans, Taysom Hill's first game. We thought it would be Winston when we first did the podcast, so I thought the Falcons could win. Taysom Hill is more conservative and does a lot of checkdowns, which the Falcons are not really good at covering. But the Falcons have been turning the ball over now. They just destroyed the Raiders in a game that
I did not see that coming.
Obviously did not see that coming. But then when you think about it, you totally see it coming because it makes sense for the Falcons to do that. And then to come into home, Julio probably will be back this week.
Probably.
He was a game time decision last week, and they said let it go. Probably will be back. I don't know if I can do this again to me. The Saints defense looks really good, but I'm going to go with the Falcons in the points. I think this is going to be. Oh no, actually, I take it back. I said this on the podcast last week. If it was 3.5, I would take the Falcons. But if it's -3, I'd rather take the team that I think is going to win it, which is the Saints, by a field goal and tie than the Falcons to somehow cover to basically win out, basically.
So wait, are you taking the Falcons?
No, I'm taking the Saints.
Oh, you first said you were taking the Saints, then you said you were changing your pick.
No, I went back. I changed back. I said I was going to take the Falcons, but then I went back. Last week I said if there's a 3 spread, I'd rather take the team I think is going to win.
Makes sense.
Than take a underdog and hope for a push.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, 2 weeks ago the spread was -5 when it was in New Orleans. Now it's +3 in Atlanta, and the last 2 weeks ago, Saints won 24-9. That was the first week of Taysom Mania, and Atlanta will have a better game plan this time. I still think the Saints cover. Atlanta's a middling to bad at every level of O-line play, and New Orleans defense has really been coming together and been the team that we expected them to be at the start of the year. They're ranked second in DVOA on defense. I think that they cover this 3 pretty easily.
Nick wants me to take the Falcons, and I'm leaning that way, but the best unit on this entire game is the Saints defense, as everyone's been talking about. They're incredible, especially in the last few games with the pressure rate. They're first in the league. They've surpassed Pittsburgh everyone the last 3 games. They're getting 11.5% of the plays are getting pressure on the quarterback. But Atlanta, funny enough, is 6th in the last 3 games. They are also getting pressure on the quarterback, and it's one of those situations where I just don't think Taysom Hill is really a good quarterback. I mean, he is a running back. He's no better of a quarterback than RG3 that we're watching right now. He's
a game manager.
He's a game manager who's really just running the ball. He hasn't been using Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara has hardly been touching the ball, which is fine. They have Latavius Murray too. And that's the reason why you almost want to just take the Saints. They have so many weapons. Sanders, Thomas is back, Cook, Murray, Kamara. It's tough to really go against them. So it really comes down to, do you think Taysom Hill can manage the game enough? I'm going to take the Falcons +3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I like the pick, and
Nick's changing his pick again.
Just because the Falcons, it's tough to beat the Falcons twice.
It's a division game on the road. Give me the home dog. Division game, like you said, you can't beat them. It's not easy to beat them twice. Now they've seen Taysom Hill. Yeah. Like it's hard to prepare for an offense when you haven't seen a quarterback all year. You literally played him 2 weeks ago, and he beat you, but he didn't really beat you that much. He only scored 24 points. You really just got to figure out how to beat that New Orleans defense.
And Matt Ryan sucks against
in general. Yes, I know.
He sucks against the pressure, and Julio Jones was out half that game.
Julio's the key. If Julio doesn't play or if he gets hurt on the 3rd play of the game, this bet's fucked. But I'm also trying to gain ground on you guys, so let's go Falcons. Take the home dog.
All right, we'll let you pick first for the rest of them. That's fine.
Hey, I have a lot of contrarian takes here, okay? On to the next game. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are favored by 9.5 points. Over-under set at 51.5. I will lead with this game. The Vikings and Kirk Cousins have shown a lot of resiliency. Last week I'm watching that Panthers game, and I saw him commit some of the worst fucking turnovers ever, just fumbling the ball and basically handing it off to the Carolina Panthers. They scored 2 defensive touchdowns within a matter of, 8 seconds? Mm-hmm. Like, insanely bad. Put them in a big hole. Kirk Cousins comes back, ends up winning the game, and off of the week prior where he won one of his first primetime games, I think, or his first Monday night primetime game. And it just shows me that he is still that consistent veteran that you want to have on your side. On top of that, they're going to get Adam Thielen back. Jefferson, as we've talked about a few weeks in a row here, is a fucking world beater. And I just think that he is going to tear apart this Jags defense. And oh, wait.
Chad Beebe. You didn't even mention Chad Beebe.
Chad Beebe.
I'm kidding.
Hey, he had the game-winning touchdown catch. He's a good receiver in his own right, but doesn't really stack up to the other guys. Dalvin Cook, still on the team, will gash this Jaguars defense, who are still banged up. They're going to have Gardner Minshew in, but...
Mike Glennon starting this week.
Oh, is it? Okay, I thought they were going to have... Well, even more the reason I'm going to be on the Vikings here. Give me a -9.5. Short list of survivor picks.
Yeah, I mean, I hear everything you're saying, and it feels gross for me to take the Jags here, but I am. The Jags have put up 20 or more in 4 of their last 5 games. And they've also lost by 4 or less in 3 of those games. They keep these games close somehow. I don't even know how. And Minnesota's a middling to above average defense. Jacksonville is the worst defense in the league and the worst roster in the league, but I still think that I don't trust the Vikings.
Worst roster?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who has the worst roster?
Jets.
I would probably take the Jets team, honestly. And I don't trust the Vikings to put up 10 to win by more than 10, or 10 or more, I should say.
I think this spread is a little high.
I thought it was going to be like 5.5, 6.5.
That's what I had. I had it at 7.
I had it at 7, but I 9.5 is a little high. Last week we both picked the Jags against the Browns, Libanati, and they were given what, 7?
Correct.
And they were in that game the entire time.
They've kept a lot of these games close.
However, Jags on the road, I don't like them. I like the Vikings at home. Is Thielen back?
Yes.
Thielen's back. I love them having too many weapons. And to see what Jarvis Landry did to them last week, to now know what Justin Jefferson and Thielen are going to do to him, give me the Vikings.
Hey, there we go. I will say, as I'm looking at this now, the Vikings have only covered the spread once all year. And that was at home to the Lions. But you know what? I think they got it in them. We'll see.
All right, we'll see.
All right, on to the next game.
No, they covered more than at home or overall.
Overall in the year.
They won against the Packers. They had
1 by 6. This is the only time they've covered this high of a spread.
Oh, this high of a spread.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you
That's
mean?
an important qualifier.
Like they definitely covered against the Packers
because they were
down.
All right. On to the next game. We have the Cleveland Browns at the Tennessee Titans. Titans are 5.5-point favorites at home. Over-under is the highest of the week at 54 points. That's insane.
Yeah, for these two teams, that is crazy.
I mean, I know Tennessee kicked the shit out of the Colts last week, but they don't normally put up in the 40s. And last year, Tennessee kind of did this against the Browns. I'm just going to say it right now. I'll lead off again. Titans -5.5. That's my pick. I mean, it's just it's not even an overreaction, I think, to the Colts game. I just think that the Browns are a middling team who have gotten some lucky wins, and they're barely beating Texans and Jags and teams like that. They just haven't looked very good. They're getting Myles Garrett back, but I mean, if you can stop Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and really just stop the run game, Baker is terrible. Baker missed. I watched it live.
Some of those passes. Oh my God!
There was a blown coverage play. Higgins was taking a slant across the middle in the red zone, and the linebacker that's supposed to be covering Higgins just went with, I think, Landry to the corner.
Yep.
He was wide open. Baker saw it, hesitated, and then threw it through the field goal post. I'm like, you suck, dude. I won't back them. The Browns have been dead to me all year. Give me the Titans -5.5. King Henry will run all over them.
I like that pick as well. Titans -5.5. There's not much more you have to say besides the Browns could barely beat the Jags.
Yep.
And the Titans, I know the Titans are going to probably play this close to start for a while, and I just don't like the Browns' offense to keep up. You take away the run game. You have Landry against Malcolm Butler over there in the corner. I like the Titans still. They just don't have enough weapons on offense to keep up with the Titans. The Browns cannot. They'll slow the ball down, but if you just get that front seven to hold Chubb and
Hunt.
Hunt hasn't really been doing a whole lot.
He's been slowing down now that Chubb's been back. And, I mean, yeah, one of the passes that Bird's referencing from the past week, it was a 5-yard slant route, and Baker missed Hunt by 5 yards probably. And Hunt's just standing there after them. And you can see it in his face. He's just like, dude, really? Really? Like, it was so bad. And
I will say this. Baker's commercials are great.
Oh, if we work together, we can get it done in half the time. But I've seen this spread's at 5.5, but the money line values that I've seen indicate that this spread should actually be 6.5 or 7, not 5.5. The Titans are a middling to above average defense, but run stopping is where they excel, which is the Browns' strength. And Cleveland's ranked 31st in run stop win rate. So I think that Derrick Henry, King Henry, as he just kicked Bird's ass this past week in fantasy, is going to be able to run all over the Browns. I'm taking the Titans here as well.
And this is Henry's time of year to shine, honestly. I just looked at it. The Browns and the Titans both have top 15 rush stop defenses. Libs was just talking about the win rates, and I just think that both teams are going to stifle each other, and both teams identify as rushing teams. So the clock is going to be low, and before Nick still needs to make his pick, or did you already?
No, we're all on the Titans.
Okay. I'm already just going to lock this in. Browns, Titans under. That's my pick for this week. I don't think there's a chance it gets to that. So, anyway, on to the next game. We have the Detroit Lions at the Chicago Bears. Bears are 3-point favorites at home, over under 44 points.
Let
you lead it
so
off.
this is another divisional game with a 3-point spread. I think we've got 3 or 4 of them this week. And I'm going to take the Lions. They're coming off a little mini bye. They had the Thanksgiving Thursday night game, and this is a divisional game, and they're getting points. Both teams are very, very average. They both got middling O-lines. They're both ranked either, the Lions are 20th in offensive DVOA, 30th in defensive. Bears are 28th offensive, 4th in defensive. So, yes, the Bears have the best unit on the field, and honestly, I truly think that this is going to end up being another push with this line at -3 here, but I'm going with the Lions. Give me the points.
Nick?
I like that pick. I'm going to go with the Lions as well. Week 1, I know it's a long time ago, Mitch Trubisky had to have a great game, 3 touchdowns, no picks, no turnovers.
Wow, no turnovers?
And Swift should have caught the touchdown to win that game.
That's right.
So, and they lost by 4. So that was at home. I know the Bears defense is actually pretty decent, even though they keep on getting gashed left and right. I like the Lions in a divisional game to get the points. I think it's going to be a close game. 44 seems, and I like Galladay back.
I believe he was limited, or
he was completely sidelined at practice, and they're pessimistic that he's going to play this week.
I did see an update on him.
Give me this.
And that was an easy change. I'm going to go with the Lions. I think that the Bears aren't good enough to be laying these points. I know they're at home, but there's no home field advantage at this point, especially between
weather-wise outdoor.
Well, whoop-de-doo. It's two teams that play each other every year, division games. Yes, Matthew Stafford plays games indoors at home, but guess what?
Who's starting for the Bears?
Trubisky.
Yeah, Trubisky's starting, but Stafford plays the Packers, the Vikings, and Bears every year. He plays in those outdoor elements. I know the Vikings don't play outdoors, but I think he can handle it. They are going to get DeAndre Swift back this week, or at least they should. He's at practice this week. He just needs to pass concussion protocol, but he was almost going to play last week. He's had a whole week to recover and didn't have any practice. I think he's going to play. They don't have Galladay, but they still have Marvin Jones. This Bears team is garbage. Their offense is pathetic. With Mitch Trubisky, I'll be shocked if they can get to double-digit points, even against this piss-poor Lions defense. And guess what? Matt Patricia's gone. You know who the worst player on the Detroit Lions was? Matt Patricia.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. This is the first game for the interim head coach. 100% the Lions.
Lions by a bill.
Almost a lock. I completely forgot about that. Nick's going to change his pick. Watch.
Take it as a lock. No, I think Clear Max going to feast it.
I'm confident in the Lions, so that's my pick. Nick's all on an island by himself with the Bears. Ooh, nice little sack of RG3 there.
That's just wrong.
Take a loss. All right, on to the next game. We have the Cincinnati Bengals at the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins are favored by 11.5 points. Over/under set at 42. Lib, lead it off.
All right, so the Bengals here, like Bird just said, minus 11 or plus 11.5. Miami, their O-line's been slightly below average since he has 0 pass rush. Miami's defense has been pretty good. This is too many points to lay. I truly don't even think that this is a homer pick. I'm taking the Bengals plus 11.5.
Fuck the Bengals. I'm taking the Dolphins. I took the Giants last week. Put a ton of money on it. 100 units. Bengals fucking come down and score garbage time touchdown for no fucking reason.
Is that really on the Bengals? Put that on the Giants.
Fuck the Bengals.
Daniel Jones went out.
No, Daniel Jones came out and they still can't even beat a fucking Colt McCoy fucking Giants. Fuck the Bengals. They're trash. Dolphins.
I'm still just laughing at Nick's anger towards the Pittsburgh Steelers punt return.
No, Ray McLeod, yes.
Ray
McLeod.
Specifically him.
And the Bengals. Hit both. Hit both. This thing, the Bengals.
Let me put it this way. After what I saw in the fourth quarter by Brandon Allen against the Giants defense, which is a good defense, but he just couldn't handle it. Their offensive line is pathetic, and the Dolphins have a better defense than the Giants, and they have a better offense than the Giants. It's a lot of points.
Do they with Tua?
Yeah.
We'll see if it's Tua or Fitzpatrick, but
Bro, they can put RG3 out there. They got a better offense than the fucking Giants. Giants suck.
Giants have actually
Wayne fucking Bowman. I'm just saying, without Daniel Jones, the Colt McCoy.
Correct. With Colt McCoy, 100% agree. Yes.
My point is, I think the Dolphins have a better offense in general. They definitely have a better defense. I think they're a better coach team for sure. And you give them the home field advantage. The Bengals aren't playing for anything. I just don't. Where's your motivation factor? There's still no Joe Mixon. There's no chemistry with the receivers and the quarterback. Like AJ Green didn't even have a catch. Tyler Boyd barely got a couple of garbage time catches. I think he had one going in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, T. Higgins was the only bright spot on the offense, and Zach Taylor needs to fucking go. Get him out of my life.
I don't. It's a lot of points. I don't.
Do it.
Nah, I'm taking the Dolphins.
Okay.
Can't take them. I'm going to be laying a lot of points this week. I feel like it's really going to be biting me in the ass, but I just... Fuck, give me the Bengals. Fuck it. I can't. It's too many points.
And now it's his lock.
No, God, no.
Kidding.
I was thinking about putting the Dolphins on.
All right. Clearly, there's a lot of indecision on that game. On to the next one. We have the Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans. The Texans are +3, over/under 51.5. First game without Will Fuller, who has been suspended 6 games due to PED use. I'm going to lead it off. I think the Colts win. I think it's a great bounce-back spot after the Titans game where they got the doors knocked in.
Win or cover?
I think they're going to cover. I am taking the Colts in this. -3. I think that they'll have a good bounce-back game. I think the defense can easily handle this Texans offense that is slowly just losing pieces. I mean, they still don't have Randall Cobb. It's basically Brandon Cooks and Kiki Cutie. I just think that the Colts defense is... Yeah. No, Kenny Stills isn't even on the team.
No.
He's not even on the team anymore. They cut him.
Oh, I did see that.
So yeah, it's Duke Johnson, Atkins, the tight end, Cooks and QT, and
I think David Johnson is eligible to come back this week. I don't know that he is, but I don't
think he's going to be though. And I just think the Colts defense can handle it, and the Texans don't have a great defense. Colts -3.
I mean, the Colts are starting to get healthier too. Jonathan Taylor's going to be back. They already activated him off COVID list.
Best running back in the league.
Oh yeah, top 5. Top 6. DeForest Buckner should be back, and their center Ryan Kelly looks like he should be back. Those are some of the key pieces. The offense should look better, and they're good enough to cover this spread. And it's another divisional game with a 3-point spread. I'm definitely taking the Colts. It's on a list of locks.
People are taking too much offense that the Texans are beating a Patriots team and a Lions team back-to-back weeks. They just lost to the Browns by 3. They barely beat the Jags. I mean, this team's not that good. People are thinking, maybe Watson can keep him in it. No.
Fraud.
No. They're not that good of a team. Give me the Colts, where they're just going to run and dink and doink against this Texans defense that is not good. Colts, easy. This is my +1.
I just already said it was mine.
I was debating it too, so we'll give to that at the end. We can't lock that in quite yet.
Oh, damn.
All right, so we'll revisit this because clearly it's a game we all want to grab here.
God damn it.
Let's just jump right over to the next game. The Las Vegas Raiders at the New York Jets. The Jets are favored by 7.5 points. Over/under is set at 47. All right, I'm going to lead this one off. I am just going to be straightforward about it. I am taking the New York Jumbo Jets plus 7.5 at home. It might seem like an overreaction, but from what I've seen from the Raiders this year, they just seem like a team that's going to play to their competition.
Mm-hmm.
They can go out and beat the Saints, beat the Chiefs, but then their asses beat by the Falcons. They get their doors blown in by the Bucs, lost to a mediocre Pats team, barely beat the Browns. It's just, I think Derek Carr does enough to win a game, but I see this as a game where they're just going to win by 4-7 and just not cover. Josh Jacobs is banged up. He might not play this week. He may. If he does, it might be on a limited snap count. The Jets, on the other hand, I've just seen little bits and pieces of good things. They're still a really bad team, and I don't think they're going to win this game, but I think they cover.
Yeah, I mean, the Raiders are going to try again on an East Coast game after falling completely flat.
Forgot to mention that too.
Against Atlanta. I did want to look up, and I didn't, whether or not they actually went back to Vegas and then took the trip back east. I know a lot of if they have got 2 East Coast trips in a row, they'll stay on the East Coast.
I imagine with COVID.
That's a fair point. Although I know it did happen earlier this year. I forget with Niners had 2 East Coast games in a row, and the Niners can't even play in their own stadium right now.
Niners do that a lot.
So the Raiders are going to try this again. The Jets cannot stop the run. The Jets can stop the run. They're actually ranked first in run stop win rate, but Vegas O-line has been good, and Carr will be able to throw on the Jets here. The hook scares me. I'm taking the Raiders here at 7.5. If I do put in something on this, I'm gonna buy at least a half a point. But I still think that the Raiders cover here.
By the full point, the half point doesn't do anything for you.
Well, it makes it a push instead of a loss. I would buy at least a half a point.
Matt likes to kiss his sister. That's what he's saying.
Sure. As an only child, sure, I'll take that.
You like ties? You like kissing your sister? That's what I heard. Nick, what do you got for us?
The Bengals have a tie.
I can't go with the guy that kisses his sister. I'm gonna go with the Jets.
Astute.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's too many points to cover. I think the Jets have stayed in a lot of games, and they slowed the game down. And I once again, I don't even know how the Falcons scored 43 points, but a lot of turnovers, which I think they'll minimize. But the 7.5 is too many points.
I agree. Okay, and actually, this is a game that I've been considering as a survivor pick. We can get to that later, but it's starting to scare me. On to the next game. We have the New York Giants minus Daniel Jones against the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are favored 9.5 points at home. Over/under is set at 47.5. What do you guys think?
I mean, I have a bunch of notes written down here about how the Giants haven't lost by more than 8 since like week 3. They've kept a lot of these games super close, losing by 3, 4, and I completely it just slipped my mind that Daniel Jones is more than likely. He was not at practice today. He's a long shot to play this weekend. So I definitely, if this were 9.5 and Daniel Jones was there, this would be almost a lock for me. But I'm gonna let you guys talk it out here. I'm not gonna make a pick, and I'm gonna come back at the end.
Give me the Seahawks. Once again, Colt McCoy is not going to go into Seattle and cover 10 points. No, it's not. That world does not exist where Colt McCoy can go in.
You sound like Bill Sullivan. You don't want to live in a world where Colt McCoy can beat you 2 weeks in a row on your bets?
Well, I didn't know he was playing last time. he could have helped me out a lot. But no, Colt McCoy, he looks bad. He's leading defenses poorly. Seattle's actually getting a little bit better on defense.
Agreed.
Getting a little bit more pass rush. I like they have a corner there. I really liked. I watched a lot of that.
Shaquille Griffin.
Yeah, he's
awesome.
He plays wide receivers perfectly. Him on Jamison Crowder. I think you take that guy.
Take him away.
Jamison Crowder, huh?
I'm thinking about the Jets game. That's next week. When the Jets come into Seattle.
Well, I can't wait for that game.
But he's going to probably get a pick against Colt McCoy because of how good he can.
You basically can put him on Sterling Shepard or Tate or whoever the hell you want and just lock somebody down. Slayton. I mean, they're all not very good. So put him on Shepard, lock him down. I agree.
And they stopped Sanders pretty well against the run. They stopped the run well in Philadelphia last week. Seahawks -9.5. Give me that.
I love how they did this whole talk and wouldn't make a pick because you know what? I don't care. I'm still taking the Seahawks here, -9.5. It does scare me a little bit. I think the Giants are equal to, if not a little bit better than did I say the Eagles?
No.
Oh, yeah. So better than the Eagles. And the only thing that stops me from taking the Giants is the lack of Daniel Jones. Because I think with Daniel Jones, he could possibly keep a minute or do the backdoor cover that Carson Wentz did last week. But I just don't see it happening with Colt McCoy.
Daniel Jones almost didn't cover against the Bengals.
I understand. And it's another road game.
That's laying points versus getting points.
Yeah. But it's another road game, but I just don't think he can cover it. Or I don't think the Giants can cover it. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks -9.5. Have you heard us make our picks? Are you going to take the Giants, Lib?
I don't know. I like I said, if this were Daniel Jones and it were 9.5, it would be almost a lock for me. I'm going with the Seahawks here, though. I think they win by 10 or more against this team with Colt McCoy. Again, Colt McCoy. That's all.
Yeah. So try to find a better line on that one if you can. If not, I mean, it's a great T-spot, too.
Agreed.
Take 6 points off. That's easy. It's free money. Let's go to the next game. We have the Los Angeles Rams at the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals are +3 at home. Over-under is 48.5. Nick, what do you think?
I don't know what to think of either of these teams. Rams somehow lose to the Niners last week after beating the Bucs the previous week. And showing that they are, and who they beat the week before that, the Rams?
Bucks.
They beat the Bucs, and who else? They beat someone else before that. They beat the Seahawks well.
Oh, yeah.
So 2 divisional opponents.
They beat the Seahawks.
Lost to the...
and then lost to the Niners. I just don't understand the Rams' offense. They can't... Like, Goff has a great game.
It's boom bust with Goff. I was about to say that, 100%.
And it's... I just don't know what to think of it. And where I like them, but I'm going to take the Cardinals and the points at home. Even though I think the Rams are going to win this game.
And everything you said makes complete sense. This is, yet again, another divisional game with a 3-point spread. Both are coming off tough last-second losses last week. But I think the Rams are the better team. The Rams are, the Rams are 7th and 6th in offensive and defensive DVOA. The Cardinals are 13th and 11th in offensive and defensive. They're both absolutely terrible on special teams. The Rams are a little bit better as an overall team and as a unit. And I think that between Jalen Ramsey being able to control Nuke and take him out of the game, quote unquote, he'll still get his to a degree. But Aaron Donald being able to either spy on or catch down Murray with the AC joint. He's not fully injured, but he's not 100% at this point. And I'm going with the Rams.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth on this because I'm a big fan of the Cardinals. I like what they're doing, but they just have those games where they just don't look like
against the Pats.
What the fuck? You need to be an offensive firepower. The defense on this team is good, but it's not great. You need to score points, and if Kyler Murray is not scrambling and opening up plays for down the field receivers, it's just not happening. And like he almost didn't even want to throw to Christian Kirk. Andy Isabella who had a couple of nice games, just cute little plays.
Yeah, gadget plays.
He wasn't even involved. Larry Fitz, I think, is still on COVID. I don't know. He was out last week for it. He might be out this week. I still don't know. But if he is, that's just a safety blanket that Kyler Murray loses on just even 3rd and 1, like little hook route.
Yep.
That's Larry Fitz specialty. So
especially at this point of his career.
Yeah. Did you see anything on him?
No.
Okay. I'm afraid of the offense. Kenyon Drake is good, but not great. And like you said, if the Rams can take the blueprint that the Pats took, put your best corner on Hopkins, leave him there all day, let Murray beat you somewhere else, and then just spy Murray so he can't run all over the place. And when he's under pressure, he struggles big time. You've got the best defensive lineman in the league. Give me the Rams, -3.
And Fitzy tested positive on November 26th, so I think it's cutting it close to make it for this Sunday's game. I imagine he'll be out again. We'll see. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, it's not enough to sway me. It's just one of those things that makes me less inclined to take the Cardinals.
Yep.
So, okay. On to the next game. We have a game I was actually supposed to be going to this year, guys, but thanks, COVID. New England Patriots at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are +1 at home. Over-under is 47. When this game opened earlier this week, it was Chargers -1.5, and I was fucking stunned. I had this game at like Chargers +4. I have no idea where this line came from. I know that the New England Patriots have not been good this year, but guess who has been way worse? The Los Angeles Chargers. Anthony Lynn is a terrible coach. I've stood in his corner for 3.5 years now. I've yelled at people who said he's a bad coach, but this year he's been the epitome of bad. He cannot manage the clock.
No, he's good at clock management at least, though, right?
He doesn't even know that he's bad at it. That's the worst part. He thinks he's good at it. He sits there and he's like, well, someone will ask him about a time management issue, and he goes, well, no, that wasn't an issue. And then 2 days later he goes, oh, yeah, I see what you guys were talking about. Like, is he just like fucking high in these games? I have no idea. But he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. As much as I love Herbert, Eckler is back. The offense is humming. But Pats defense is getting a little bit healthier. They're not giving him up as many points. So as long as Cam Newton doesn't fuck the game up, they should be fine. Bosa looked like a world beater last week, but we still gave up a shit ton of points to the Bills. I just don't see how we win this game. Pats -1.
I'm taking the Pats here as well. The line, when it first opened up, I was just like, oh, God, give me the Pats when they were underdogs. And even as a 1 point, 1 point favorite here, I'm still going with them. I feel stupid doing it. But everything that you said, I agree with. And if honestly, these teams are so mediocre or bad, or like the Chargers offense is the best unit on the field. But I just have a feeling that this is going to come down to like a special teams play. And the Pats are ranked 4th in the league in DVOA and special teams, versus the worst in the league.
32nd, baby, down at the bottom. Yet another week where our punter fucked up in the middle of the game. Our kicker missed extra points. Sorry.
Yep. No, but I think it's going to come down to something like that. A good 50, I'm not even saying like a punt return for a touchdown, but a good 50-yard return that gets them a field goal to get them up late in the game or whatever it is. It's going to come down to some time management or special teams play. That's my guess.
Sorry, just waiting on that.
Hang on, yeah, we can pause for a second. Actually, don't even pause. Let's just talk through it. There's a challenge by the Steelers against the Ravens right here for an incomplete pass, which
Talking a lot, so I'm assuming that it was overturned.
Was this the Juju?
Yeah.
Still on this play? Holy crap.
I mean, that's a catch and a fumble, right?
He took a couple of steps. That's at least, at minimum, a football move.
3.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a fumble.
Yeah.
So
they overturned this for sure. Let's see. First down?
They called it incomplete pass. 3rd and 5, right? So they called it a catch.
Yes.
All right.
You guys don't have faith in the Chargers. I do.
Oh, God.
It's a pick'em game, and I'll take the home team. Where the Patriots' offense is the scenario of where I don't understand how the Patriots keep up with them. I mean, Gilmore was on Allen, Mike Williams is still there. Patriots defense is pretty good, but I think Eckler's going to have a good game. They're going to do a lot of drop downs to him. I think Hunter
Drop downs.
Yeah, well, check down. I think Eckler's going to have a big game this week.
I agree with you. And
And I think the Patriots don't have the offense to keep up with that. And Joey Bosa is going to stop that Cam Newton. So give me the Chargers at home, and I'll ride with that.
who has a better offense? The New York Jets or the New England Patriots?
Definitely the Patriots.
Patriots.
Not by much.
Who has a better offense? The New England Patriots or the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Patriots.
Patriots. Yeah, the Jags put up 29 on us and the Jets put up 28 on us. I guarantee you the Pats will get
in both of those. It's not home.
Those are both home games for us.
The Jags is Chargers at home?
Yes. Both of those were home games. We gave up 28 plus in both those games. I guarantee you the Pats will at least get 24. Guaranteed. So can we score that much against the Pats? I don't know.
You scored that much against the Bills?
We scored 17 against the Bills.
Well, they got a lot of turnovers.
But the Pats defense is terrible. So
Yeah.
they're 31st in the league.
Gilmore changes that defense.
They're not.
Yes, they are. They are 31st in the league in DVOA.
I don't care what DVOA says. That's bullshit.
Okay.
They're actually other league.
I've watched the Jets, the Bengals, and the Jags this year. They're not 31st. I don't care what you can pull up whatever you want. That's just not true.
The Chargers.
They've been missing their best player for the last few years.
Go Chargers, go.
Go Chargers, go.
And now go Chargers, go.
All right, on to the next game. Oh, we're already through the 1 o'clock slate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Okay. On to the next game. We have the Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers. Packers are favored by 9 points at home, over under 47. Packers -9.
Packers
Wentz
minus
sucks.
9. Packers -9.
This was actually tough for me somehow, and I'm going with the Packers -9.
I hate the Eagles. They're atrocious. I just don't see how they're going into Green Bay and keeping this close.
I mean, the best unit on the field is very clearly the Packers offense, and these two teams defensively are. Well, who's a better unit on the field? The defenses are pretty similar. Packers are getting healthier, and I think Alan Lazard coming back. He's been back now for a week, and I think it helps open up the offense a little bit, gives Rodgers some more options to play with, and I think the Packers cover here.
How many fucking drops?
Yeah, I'm with you here. The Eagles just look putrid until I see anything out of Carson Wentz. I mean, the best play he had was a Hail Mary that got knocked down and barely caught in the end zone. Like, that's not a play that inspires any hope, and it's hard to trust them until then. It's a lot of points, but hopefully there's no backdoor cover. Next game we have here is the Denver Broncos.
That's another great T spot, was going to be my only other point. Packers -2, Packers -3.
Packers -2 and Seahawks -3.5.
Love it.
Ooh, I like that. Want to make that a
Show parlay, show teaser.
podcast parlay we got here? So we'll take the Packers -3 and the Seahawks -3.5.
2.7, which will be a -150 on.
Yeah. 2-team teaser, 7 points.
two,
We could do 6 points too.
If you do 6 points, you get -120.
I think 6.
I think 6 is enough.
Yeah.
I trust both those teams to cover by 3 and 3.5.
Yeah. Colt McCoy. All right, let's put that in. We'll make that a team one. All right, on to the next game. We have the Denver Broncos at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 14 points. Over under is set at 50.5. I just don't know how the Chiefs don't cover the spread, but it's so many points.
They got to get their team back, right?
They get all the quarterbacks are going to be back.
Correct.
So they will have Drew Lock playing. Well, Phillip Lindsay is questionable with a knee injury that he got last week.
He didn't practice today.
I don't think he's going to play.
Why isn't the Seahawks game up on any bets?
I had to pull it up on an alternate site. It's not on our site, so we'll have to visit that later. But that was the spread we got from 2 other sites. So hopefully it doesn't get any worse than that. But obviously they're waiting for
Daniel Jones news. That's why.
Yeah, they want to confirm he's out before they put a line out. Back to the Broncos Chiefs. Lindsey's not playing. There'll be a lot of Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon isn't good, even though the Chiefs' run defense is bad. They make a lot of splash plays. Broncos' offensive line is okay, but it's not great. So I think the Chiefs will get plenty of pressure. And the best part of the Broncos is their defensive front, if you ask me, and I just don't see them really getting to Mahomes that much.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Like, AJ Bouye is going to get eaten up by Hill. Kelsey will have a bounce back game because he didn't have a great week last week. Chiefs.
Minus 14. I just don't think the Broncos, they can score at will. I feel like they have a switch.
Yeah.
And it's tough to see them turn that switch on for an entire game, but they have a switch. And they just, at some points, you look at Mahomes and Hill, and the balls that he throws are just perfect. The chemistry between the two are unbelievable.
Yep.
And then as soon as you get that, then you have Kelsey up the middle. And there's no way of stopping it.
Watkins is healthy.
Watkins.
Edwards-Helaire. Bell, just for fuck's sake. I mean, they have too many weapons.
Too many weapons. Chiefs in the offense is going to cover that. I don't think their defense will, but the offense will cover that.
Agreed, and the defense isn't even terrible. And they're playing the worst offense in the league in Denver. And even with Denver getting, quote-unquote, competent QB play again, I
think they'll get more than one reception.
Yeah, it'll be better than last week, obviously. But the Chiefs' defense isn't that bad. And the Broncos' defense is slightly above average, but they're facing the best offense we've seen in the past decade plus. Like, this is a hell of a lot of points to lay. I'm going with the Chiefs too.
Yeah,
I like it.
Chiefs when they're up, they're like, oh, most teams will run the ball. Chiefs are like, nah, fuck it, we'll just throw 50 yards down the field.
Yep,
no brain. All right, let's move on to Monday Night Football. Okay, this week for Monday Night Football, we actually have two games. So let's talk about the first one, which doesn't involve a team currently playing right now in front of us. The Buffalo Bills at the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers plus 2.5 at home. Over under set at 48. I'm going to lead off taking the Bills. I know the 49ers had a good game against the Rams, but that's a division spot. I mean, they're still playing with the backup quarterback. Nick Mullins isn't bad, but he's not great. They're going to get Brandon Ayuk back. Deebo Samuel looked good. They have Raheem Mostert. A lot of the offensive pieces are back, but the defense still leaves a lot to be inspired. And they have gotten Richard Sherman back, which definitely helps, but I just don't think they're going to get a ton of pressure on Josh Allen. And they didn't seem to have much trouble putting up points against us. It always comes down to Josh Allen, whether he's going to throw a pick or not, but I think Bills minus 2.5. I don't think it's a spot that they're going to be overwhelmed in.
I'm going Bills here as well. I mean, this is both teams. You've got an average defense in Buffalo versus an average offense in San Fran. You've got a good defense in San Fran versus a good offense in Buffalo. Both are mediocre at O-line. Both are below average in D-line. I'm taking the Bills here. They have more to play for in terms of seeding. And yes, San Fran still has an outside shot of getting into the playoffs, but they don't control their own destiny. The Bills do. I'm laying the points here.
I thought this would be more like 3.5.
Yeah, I guess 3.5.
The 2.5 is why I'm taking the Bills. I think the Niners played this very close.
Yep.
But I just think they win by 3. And I think the Bills cover by that half point.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm going to take the Bills. They just have a more complete team. And
kidding.
And I just feel like the Niners are going to have more of maybe a letdown game after showing up where no one really paid attention to that game because everyone was watching the Chiefs and Bucks, where no one really noticed this game of where the Niners would keep staying in. And it was just too many mistakes by Goff that kept them in. I think Allen probably has one of those as well, but not as many to still lose this game. So
understood. All right, so we're all on the Bills. Huh? We're all on a lot of teams this week. All right, that takes us to our last two games. The second Monday night game is the Washington Footballs at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The line there is no real line for it right now. We obviously the Steelers are playing as we're watching right now. Nick just got excited because Juju Smith-Schuster just scored a touchdown to make the score 18-7. I don't want to say 19 because I've already seen Boswell miss a PAT tonight. So we'll see about that. But the line we kind of have here is minus 9.5. Let's assume it's 10 after tonight because the Steelers are I think, going to close this game out. I think I'm going to go with the footballs.
Me too.
I think it's just too many points. I love the Steelers. The Steelers are good, but Washington gets the long week. They've looked better. Alex Smith is getting back into a rhythm of being, a good, competent, game-managing level quarterback. I think he can handle the defense that the Pittsburgh's going to throw out there. I don't think they're going to score a lot of points, but I think this is going to be close enough. Depending on what the line is, if it's double digits, give me the footballs.
Yeah, I like Washington. The defense, their front seven, I feel like will get to Ben. And I know they have a lot of those check downs, and that's just why I just don't think they'll get those big plays that give you that blowout win of double-digit points. I think Alex Smith is smart enough. He knows this defense. He's seen it before. And he's a competent quarterback, I think, where he will understand blitz packages. He won't give any pick sixes or anything that I think will make, again, give that blowout lead. I think Alex Smith game managed this game a little bit better than what other teams have been doing against the Steelers.
Oh, you mean like RG3?
And if RG3 can keep it between a double-digit game, I think Alex Smith and this defense can. So.
Yeah, I mean, Steelers are by far the best defense in the league, and I'm going contrarian here against you guys. I'm taking the Steelers.
I like it.
Washington doesn't match up well with the Steelers at all in terms of what Washington wants to do is run with Antonio Gibson and run the ball. Their passing offense has been okay, not great. And the Steelers' front seven is going to be able to contain Gibson, McKissick, whoever else. Fucking Peyton Barber, get him out of my life. But they're going to
make it sound like he's fucking your wife or something.
He's pissing me off in fantasy purposes. That's because I have Gibson in 2 leagues, and I just every time I see Peyton Barber out there, I'm just like, what the fuck? But Steelers are going to try to make Alex Smith beat them, and they're going to try to take away the run game. I think the Steelers can do it and cover the 9.5.
If he gets to 10.5, you still on him? If he gets to 10.5, you still on him?
No.
Because I guarantee you, if it's 9.5 before this game,
after this game,
it's going to be 10.
Yeah, no. But if you can find it somewhere now and or buy points once it happens, I'm
going to preface this. These 2 games we're talking about the Steelers and then we're going to talk about the Ravens, we're not going to count it as our spreads next week because there's no real spread. This is not a real line.
Well, then I'll take the footballs. No, I'm kidding. That's fine.
Just we'll make a stance now. I think it's good, but we won't count.
Who's playing?
Yeah, we're literally watching this game. We got no spreads. We don't know who's coming back from COVID.
In this one, and we're talking about it, we don't know if Lamar Jackson will be back or not next week.
Yeah, he should be, but who knows?
Theoretically.
All right, so let's jump into the next game. The next game is the Dallas Cowboys at the Baltimore Ravens, another team that's playing. Ravens, I guess, are -7 right now. Again, it's a line that we had to scour for.
I don't think this is going to be a -7 spread. I think it's going to go a little bit closer to like 6.5, 6.
Are you assuming he plays or not?
I'm assuming Lamar is going to play, and I'm going to take the Ravens. I'm assuming he's playing.
I guessed it was 5.5. I think I'm in the same boat as you. Not 7. Cowboys do get a little bit of mini bye here, playing on Thanksgiving, and this game got pushed back till Monday Night Football, so they get a full 10, 11 days, I think. I still don't feel like that's enough here with Andy Dalton in that offense, which has looked a little bit better, but the Ravens are still a good defense and an okay-ish offense. Ravens cover.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be with you guys on this one. I mean, I know the Cowboys had beaten the Vikings. They played Pittsburgh well, but even then they didn't cover the spread against Pittsburgh. And if this game is going to float around 7, I don't know how you don't take the Ravens. I know the thing that worried me with the Steelers game was the short week against a team that played on Thanksgiving. It's going to be the same situation here with the Ravens. The Ravens do get to play on Tuesday, but it's a team that's still on a short week rest. This defense is going to be exhausted. But I can't stomach taking Andy Dalton, so I'll take the Ravens too. So we'll do a round of Ravens. Maybe we can give each other a call on Sunday to discuss the lines a little bit more, maybe earlier in the week. I don't know.
All right, well, that wraps up our weekly picks.
Yeah, so that wraps up our weekly picks. We will now jump into A+ locks and over-unders. Okay, so let's start with our A+ locks. I think Nick, I'm gonna hand it to you. You only went 1-1 or 1-2, but I think you're gonna win this Steelers one, and I'll let you pick first.
You pick first. I'll let you say no. You have the overall record. I'll let you take it.
All right, I'm gonna because I know who you want. I know who you want to pick, so I'm not gonna take them. I'm gonna take the Chiefs minus 14.
Oh
Wow.
That's my lock.
That is a lot.
I'm gonna drop a lot of points, but the that's how bad I think the Broncos are.
Now we're assuming that I don't want to take a line where the Seahawks are -9, where it may jump to
If you don't take the fucking Colts, I'm gonna take them back. I was leaving you the Colts.
Well, I'll take the Colts, just because that seems like a good pick. And we already discussed it, so I'll take the Colts.
Colts -3 at Houston. All right, I have no idea what I'm doing here for my lock, but this is gross. This is gross. I wanted the Colts. You guys suck. I am stalling. And
Take the Bengals, tough guy.
Yeah.
no, I'm thinking about taking a game where I'm a lone dog, though.
Convince me to jump on the Bengals with you.
I'm going after it. I'm locking up the Jags +9.5 at Minnesota.
Okay.
Wow.
Interesting.
Can I take another lock? Hand up.
Give me the Colts then, you bastard.
Jesus. Like your additional lock?
I want to take another one since you guys didn't take it.
Okay.
Give me the Titans -5.5. I think
Well,
that's a
that's
lot.
the other one I was looking at.
Okay.
I thought someone of you was going to take it, and that's why that was my other one.
That's a good one. I actually like that one. I'm going to lock up the Titans Brown under. Since you just took your second lock. Libs, what's your under?
Or over.
Oh, yeah, sorry, over under.
Why don't we go to Nick here?
I don't see.
I gave you an advantage and you pissed it away.
I
Okay.
don't see the Chiefs and Broncos scoring 50.5.
I liked that as an under too.
I just don't. I don't see the Broncos putting up. I see the Chiefs putting up points. I don't see that the Broncos putting up that many to commit that. I go Chiefs Broncos under.
Yeah, I mean 35-14, you still cover. Like that's insane.
I'm going to go under in the Giants Seahawks at 47.5 here. Assuming Daniel Jones isn't playing, we'll see where that line moves to. But I don't think the Giants put up enough to get, even if the Seahawks put up 30, I don't see the Giants putting up 17.
What a bunch of sad sacks of shit we are. We all took unders this week.
I know I'm never an under guy, but I mean.
Yabo,
I think
always been over.
Yeah, I think they've been adjusting lines to try to prevent some overs from hitting because they were hitting so high at the beginning of the year.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, to recap our A+ picks, we have Nick with the Colts and the Titans. Lib has the Jags, and I'll take the Chiefs. Our over-unders, I have the Titans, Browns under 54. Lib has the Seahawks, Giants under 47.5, and Kometa has the Chiefs and Broncos under 50.5.
And just a reminder, definitely my locks, and probably also fade Nick's locks. Birds have been good.
I'm 2-1 my last week, so turning around.
You're 1-2 right now in last week.
You said you didn't count the Giants.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm not. You're 1-2.
No, I'm 1-1.
He's counting your over-under.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, Nick might not have the greatest A+ locks, but he does have great trivia. So, Nick, what do you have for trivia?
You guys are watching it right now. Wednesday football. Do you guys know the last time we had Wednesday football?
I said at the beginning of the show that there was no Wednesday.
You said Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah.
Or,
Just Wednesday in general.
Is it a trick question? Do you guys want more?
Do you want to give me a year or
I'm
like?
going to give you some multiple choices. 1941, 2012, 1925, or D, this is the first one. This is the first Wednesday Night Football.
I'm gonna go with the first one.
Yeah, I'm going. This is the first one as well. Trick question, you bastard.
Trick question.
Damn it!
We actually played in 2012. Was the last time we played a Wednesday Night Football, the opening game of this season. Cowboys and Giants played in 2012 on Wednesday because they didn't want to face off against President Obama's inaugural speech on Thursday. So they switched Thursday Night Football opening day to Wednesday, and they played on Wednesday.
Why? I understand it more in
Wednesday
08.
night.
It wasn't the first game of the year. The inaugural speech wouldn't have been
In January. Inaugural speeches in January.
Well, whatever.
But I also don't understand, like, I get Obama's inaugural speech in 08,
Yeah.
in his first election, but as the incumbent, why?
Yeah.
The NFL is going to do monster
Also,
numbers
way
against
back
anyone.
when they actually played Wednesday Night Football a lot in the up to 1940, a lot. If you guys didn't know, from the 20s to the 40s.
Well, let's say when TVs
But
were
that's-
around, I'm
yeah.
sure they played every fucking day
Yeah,
of the week.
that's why those out there. But yeah, this is
The 2012, that's a good one.
and this is going to be a tough one. So
Another trivia. Ooh, two for one.
2 for 1 because I just like to treat you, the viewers,
Well, thanks.
This is actually a 5-part trivia, which I'd be interested if you guys get more than one of these correct.
Great.
5-part trivia. Okay.
Tyreek Hill got a lot of points last week, almost 55 points, going off for 13 catches, 269 yards, and 3 touchdowns. However, statistically, this has not been the best fantasy game by any wide receiver, even though 55 points is a lot. Now, I'm going to go, this is a little controversial. Non-PPR league,
Do return yards count?
no bonus stats or anything, just straight up yards and touchdowns, no half-point PPR, no full-point PPR. I'm going to go by position, the best fantasy stats from each position of all time.
I know 2 of them.
So you know 2 of them. Interesting. We're going to go QB. Who do you got for the highest statistically, most points in a game by QB?
When's did they backdate any of this? Are you going back?
They did
Before fantasy?
They did backdate this a while back.
This is easy. Peyton Manning, Denver
I
Broncos,
was
7
gonna
touchdown
guess-
game.
I was going to
7
guess that.
touchdown games. Is that you guys had it too?
Yes.
Both incorrect.
Wow.
That game is actually high up there. It is actually 3rd all time. 2nd all time is Mark Leipin from Washington, who had 6 touchdowns passing, 442 yards, and a rushing touchdown.
Oh.
But right behind had 48 points. And Peyton Manning's 7 touchdown game had 46 points. Number 1 scoring off quarterback was Michael Vick
Oh, wow.
with the Eagles
What?
in 2010. He had 4 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, and 80 yards rushing.
I was
with
gonna say,
330 yards.
I didn't even think about
Passing,
Vic as a
scoring
great one.
49 points. 49.32 points.
Okay.
We're going to
Next
go
position.
now we're going running back.
So here's my question. You said no return yards, which I understand. What about if you return for a touchdown? Does that count as a touchdown in this question?
I do not know. Do you have?
Then Gale Sayers, if touchdowns are counted on returns, then it's Gale Sayers. I know that.
I don't. They don't have.
I'm gonna guess you're wrong.
I don't know who that is. So no.
You don't know who?
I don't know who Gale Sayers is. He just died. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Bears running back, Hall of Famer.
You're calling yourself Trivia Man?
Yeah.
God. All right. Ooh.
So take that out. Who do you think it is?
Well,
This is gonna be a tough one.
if you don't know who Gale Sayers, it's not him. And
Well, he's not even close on this list. So
that list is flawed because he had like 7 touchdowns in a game.
I'm trying to think of who had a fucking insane game. I'm gonna go Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson and Matt.
Who's the other Chief?
Can I take a second pick?
Yeah.
Who's the other?
LaDainian Tomlinson.
Okay. LT and LJ.
Who's the other fucking Chiefs running back? I can't think of at the moment.
Bruce Holmes.
No, right before then.
Jamal Charles.
Yes.
You gonna go with him?
Yeah.
No, but he does have a top game. The best game by a running back. I thought you guys would have gotten Sean Alexander's 5 touchdowns in the first half game, which is what he came up.
He was on the short list, but
He had 53 points with 139 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns, 92 yards rushing, 1 touchdown receiving. But the top game by any running back fantasy-wise is Clinton Portis for the Broncos in 2003. He put up 218 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns, and 36 yards receiving.
Wow.
Sean Alexander is 2 at 53. Corey Dillon
With the
51
Pats or Bengals?
with the Bengals at 246 yards and 4 touchdowns and 97. And then Jamal Charles had
97.
I'm not even on the list, huh?
4 receiving touchdowns, 195 yards receiving, 20 yards rushing, and a touchdown. 5 touchdown games. Pretty crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't.
Receiver? Let's move to receiver.
Going on to receivers.
It's Jerry Rice. Stop it.
And you have Jerry Rice. Who do you have?
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss. It is my man Jerry. He had 13 catches for 225 yards and 5 receiving touchdowns in 1990.
I took a backup.
Has the highest at 52.5 points. Jerry Butler for the Bills has in 79.
Okay.
Had 255 yards and 4 touchdowns. Harold Jackson for the Rams in 73 had 238 yards and 4 touchdowns. So, and Tyreek Hill is actually 6th on this list with the 269.
The 2 I thought I knew were Jerry Rice and Gale Sayers because I thought, yeah.
So now we're going to go to tight end, which is going to be a tough one for, I feel like, everyone, but we'll try it out. Tight end, best fantasy game.
Mike Ditka.
Mike Ditka is what Bird has.
Actually, I'm going to change my answer. Julius Thomas.
Julius Thomas. Okay. Do we have anything from Illuminati?
As he's Googling shit. Just write a name. Oh, actually, no.
Tony Gonzalez.
No, I take it back. My Gates.
Antonio Gates. That's a good guess. Oh! Steelers.
Oh, thank God.
Pick that.
Oh, thank God.
Why do you care?
IDPs, man. I can't have Minka Fitzpatrick doing shit.
Okay. I was like, that's not affecting the over-under.
As much as this will hurt Bird,
RG3's out.
Yeah.
Who's number 7?
It's Trace McSorley.
Oh.
It is a Charger.
Kellen Winslow!
It is Kellen Winslow. Back in the 80s, he actually has the 1st and 4th highest fantasy point games. He had a 13 catch, 144 yard, 5 touchdown game for the tight end, 44.4 points. He also had 34.2 in the 83 with 162 and 3. Rich Pastor is 2 with a 204 game and 3 touchdowns. Jimmy Giles for the Bucks in 85.
Scott Giles?
16 and 4 touchdowns. And then Shannon Sharp has a bunch of them.
Oh, Shannon Sharp, I should have guessed.
Gates is actually 10th all-time with 145 yards and 3 touchdowns. 5.
I knew he had a 3 touchdown game. I couldn't remember.
Another notable one. Had
Kellen Winslow also raised a rapist, so I don't know that I want to celebrate this. But
yeah, and then
love.
You can't hate a father for the indiscretions of his son.
He didn't raise his son right.
He did to college. He went to college. He got corrupt at Miami. Fuck that.
Can we go with Illuminati's favorite position? We're going to go all the way to kickers.
Oh, God.
Kicker, yes.
You're never going to get this one.
The Jets kicker from last year, Sam Ficken.
Sam Ficken. And what does Illuminati have?
Janikowski.
Janikowski, no. It is actually Rob Baranas for the Titans in 07.
Oh, wow.
He actually went for a perfect 8 for 8 one game in 07, which is, little to know, an NFL record. 8 for 8. Scored 28 fantasy points for his team without any bonuses for any catch. And second on this list, which is interesting enough, Jay Feely at 27.5. He actually had a rushing touchdown in that game off of a fake.
I was going to say 0.5 without bonuses or whatever. Fair. Nice.
Off of fake. So,
wow.
There's your top fantasy earners.
No defense?
Position, all time. I couldn't get defense.
I bet you it's
there's so many different
criteria.
Probably like 85 favors.
But if you look at it, there's so many different criteria for this. Obviously, with PPRs, this changes a lot, but there it is.
Very cool.
Just one quick note. I got a notification a few minutes ago that the Texans have started the 21-day practice window for David Johnson to return from IR. So that does not mean he's going to be back this week. They're just leaving the option open. He can start to return to practice.
Sounds like it was a great idea passing on that Colts lock. Woo! Kidding.
Yeah, I don't think that affects it.
All right. Well, thank you for the trivia, Nick. That was very eye-opening. I had no idea on some of those names, so...
We don't know who Gil Sayers is?
Yeah, that's That's
I don't care
unacceptable.
about Bears running back.
Dude, there's a movie about him. It's called Brian's Song. Are you kidding
I
me?
haven't seen it.
Oh my god.
Obviously, I haven't seen it.
You know who Emmett Smith is? For fuck's sake.
It's in the 90s, yeah, I do.
Gale Sayers' greatness was defined by the greatest single game in the history of the game. 6 touchdowns. I'm trying to remember. I know a few of them were returns because he was a return specialist and running back. But
Probably had a pick 6 too. Played defense, I think.
playing against plumbers back in the day.
Yeah. All right. So with that, we're gonna move on to our survivor picks for week 13.
You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
All right. At this point, I'm sure a lot of people still aren't alive in Survivor. Libs, you're out, right?
All 3 of us are out.
Oh, no, that's not true. I'm still alive. Let's go.
You're out of the one.
I'm on the one you're all in, but I'm still in one for 70K. I made it through last week on the backs of Tyreek Hill beating the shit out of the Broncos.
That was a tough one.
It wasn't, but
The Saints.
Sorry, Taysom Hill beating the shit out of the Broncos.
So worried about
What
that game.
was it? I was worried about the game going into it. Obviously, the quarterback situation helped out, but I'm glad I did it because guess what? There were 2 games that almost got blown out. It was the Jags-Browns, which almost ended up being an upset, and then the Giants almost didn't beat the fucking Bengals.
Did anyone take the Vikings-Panthers game? Because that was...
Some people had that too, and that one came very close.
That
So
wouldn't have been a huge upset, but...
all of that combined, and there were some risky games. So on to this week. I'm a little worried about this slate. I don't know about you guys.
Always worried. Always worried.
There's not a lot of good matchups this week.
Not a lot of good matchups.
At least ones that I can.
Just to win straight out? Come on.
No, against this. Or
No, not against
sorry. No, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
You're not going to wait the Seahawks? You know, how is that not a lock?
Okay. I love the Seahawks.
The
but
Raiders?
as we've discussed, I'm saving them for the Jets next week. So if you have Seahawks is my number 1 for sure.
Nah. It wouldn't be my number 1, but...
Seahawks is my number 1 for sure above any other team.
What else would it be?
Ravens, you don't know what the fuck's going to happen in that game.
Kansas City, Miami, Pittsburgh.
Oh, sorry. Kansas City. I'll take Kansas City 1. Kansas City's 1, then Seattle.
Fair.
Miami is an option too, but I've taken Kansas City and I've taken Miami. I don't know. I would assume a lot of people have as well.
The amount of drops he's got.
Oh, thank God.
No.
Why do you care? Oh, Deontay. That was...
Why do you care?
So I don't get any bullshit backdoor cover.
This is gold. We need to do this during
What
games
do
all
you
the time.
mean? What do I care? I just dying left and right on backdoor covers. Unbelievable. And that seals it.
I mean, dude, they haven't moved the ball all game. The only reason they got 7 points is on a botched punt.
Trace McSorley is in.
Trace McSorley's in. I don't.
So Brandon Allen got a fucking backdoor cover.
That was our special teams. Just like this one.
Oh my God. All right. Okay, so power rating them, I would say Kansas City's 1, Seattle's 2, Dolphins 3, Steelers and Ravens. Steelers 4. Ravens I don't even know because who knows if fucking Lamar's playing or not. Raiders was one I had. I'm getting worried about it. Here's a question. Who do you guys like better? Raiders at the Jets or Vikings hosting the Jags?
I like the Raiders more.
I did, but I really don't.
Don't take the Falcons. The Falcons are a really good
Nobody
team.
said anything about the Falcons.
In no way was I going to take the
You were saying that.
No, I was saying from the last week. That's why you're worried about the Raiders because the Falcons beat shit.
Oh, yes, but my worry is the Raiders went east, early 1 o'clock game, struggled. Now they're going to fly back to Vegas most likely, then go back out on a 1 o'clock game to the Jets. I know the Jets suck. I know they do. But if Jacobs doesn't play, you're going to sit here and be like, yeah, the Raiders are going to roll.
Well, we don't often see 0-16. Yes, the Jets are clearly the worst team in the league along with the Jags this year, but they end up just like the Jags won week 1 against the Colts. Granted, that was beginning of the season. Teams haven't figured themselves out yet, but we don't tend to get 0-16. The Jets are probably going to win one of these. And so it's tough just to pick against the Jets every week.
They did only score 3 points last week.
I get it, but this week would be one of the games I don't think they're beating the Seahawks next week, but I'm just saying if it's a mediocre team against the Jets, it would scare me a little bit. I get where you're coming from.
But the Raiders are not a mediocre team.
Yeah, they are.
This is what
What are you calling them? A good team?
They're above average team, I think.
Slightly. I'm talking they're the 12th or 13th best team in the league. That's fairly mediocre.
I mean, as we've kind of broken into, but outside,
Has only team to beat the Chiefs and almost beat them twice.
I get it.
yes, they've played the Chiefs well.
And they just lost by 37 to the Falcons. Marquise Hollywood Brown, touchdown, 3 minutes to go for Nick's backdoor cover. Trace McSorley's in the game, don't worry about it.
You know what the worst? I mean, not the worst part. The worst part is Nick losing his bet. The thing that's eating me up inside. I put a prop in before this podcast for Hollywood Brown
Under.
over 80 receiving yards and a touchdown. Parlay would have been plus 1,000. He just got 60 and a touchdown. Actually, what's his stat line?
Wait, why is that eating you? Did you not put it in?
I didn't put it in.
Oh, I thought you said you did.
No, I had it queued up, and I was like, no, this is stupid. Don't waste your money. Hollywood is definitely not going
4
to.
for 85.
So he's got it. Plus 1,000. Plus 1,000 parlay hit. Fuck! But Nick's is much worse news.
There's still time for Nick.
No, don't shut up.
No, it's over.
Words of encouragement.
Yeah, it's over.
God, are you fucking kidding me?
So Survivor was.
We've already kind of run through the teams.
Yeah,
If you have a Kansas City or if you have a Pittsburgh, Miami, Seattle,
use them.
those are the
Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay too.
If any of those, but if you don't, I like Minnesota, Vegas, Tennessee, maybe.
Yeah, Tennessee less so. Baltimore, depending if Lamar plays.
Probably not. And yeah, I think that's it. So I think I'm going to try to save the Seahawks for next week. So really, for me, it's Raiders and Vikings, and that's going to be it.
Gross.
So that's it for Survivor. Do you want to talk fantasy, or have we seen enough football for a day?
I think we've lost Nick for the rest of the episode anyway, but
For sure.
And it's going to be a fun week next week in our work league for fantasy purposes. I think it'll be better to recap that. It's better to talk about the outcome than all the different scenarios that could happen.
Come on. Go for it. Go for it.
Oh, they get a field goal. What are they doing?
Go for it.
They're going to go for it. Oh.
Squib kick. Nope, just deep kick.
A little pooch punt.
Return it.
What the?
No, you're a fucking asshole.
Ray.
Ray McLeod.
In what world do you think you can outrun 7 people like that?
He's a moron. Oh, they have people there?
Do they?
That's wild.
Probably family.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like 40 people.
Yeah, I'm excited for this week of fantasy. Unless Deontay Johnson gets a touchdown here, I just locked up my 4th out of 5 teams in the playoffs, and the only one left is our league.
Mine's the only one I'm not locked into the playoffs as well.
Nick, how many teams you got going to the playoffs?
1.
Out of?
Other 2 teams, too many injuries. Saquon, Dak.
Well, we looked. You have a chance in that other one.
I do have a chance. I have to win and get in this week to get in.
Seems like a lot of excuses.
Another league. I mean, when my first 4 picks on one league goes out, I can't win that league. And then in my other league, my top quarterback and top running back leave. So
yep,
it's tough to win when those 2 happen. And but this is the one with money, so that's all I care about.
It's the one with money?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Even a charity in those other ones?
This is my lowest money one.
Seriously?
The Steelers, the only lines on it was minus 800.
Oh.
Steelers plus 550 for the Ravens. I can't get out of this dog shit.
Well, with that, I think we've done enough to hopefully liven your spirits in some way on this week's episode. Good luck to everyone who is fighting for their fantasy playoff hopes. Hopefully you can hit some bets this week. Remember to like the video, share with anyone that you want, and let's try to grow this a little bit. And yeah, that's it for me, guys. Anything else?
Fade my locks. Nick?
Steelers.
Fuck the Steelers. I will agree with that.
All right, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for joining us.
See ya.